enough to rent. From the hot, never relent. This is the Tottenham supplement. Money well spent. Feet stomping, heart stomping. Ready for the event. Chasing glory every moment heaven sent.
This was going to be nicely contentious, I should imagine, throughout the fan base as well, because it was a 50-50 split when he first signed. Well, I think it's more 60-40 against him coming to us. I'd probably say I was one of the 40%, and just because I saw he could through his career. His first season, mixed, one would say, but he started off very well, didn't he? Those 10 games, 8 wins and 2, and then we kind of like had a mixed story throughout. And now the season started off mixed, I would say. I think everyone's kind of immediately downcast after that initial opening day draw against Leicester. And then since then, done okay until the injury started kicking off, and then we've now fallen off a cliff. In the league, that is. In the cups, I think we've only lost one game in about 13, I think, something along those lines. So in the league, there's a mixed bag. In the cups is where we're seeing probably our best form. And that's because we were playing a lot of the kids in the cups as well. So that's probably is a clue. So in terms of how the manager has done, and I know we were coming towards the end of the transfer window, and he's said a few things himself, maybe in code, sometimes outright saying that we do need to try and bolster the team. So is there kind of like you think it's like a disconnect between the management and the fan base as it is right now? I mean, I know that Pochettino did his best to bring it all together, and then there was kind of like a middling where when Conte came in, Mourinho came in, Nuno came in, and there was kind of like a middling. And now, how do you feel about the manager in your eyes? As probably the best way of putting it. I'll start with you, Angela, because I think everybody on the group knows your love for the manager, and so yeah, I think we're the best one to kick it off.
Look, at the end of the day, right, this isn't some new phenomena, right, of a disconnect between fans and the manager, right? There's no club that you can tell me that you're not going to get fans moaning. I mean, they moan, you look at Arsenal and they've moaned about Arteta for seasons, The only ones I could say that probably didn't moan is like Liverpool. Right, because they love Klopp, so they didn't do moaning. Manchester United moaning, even Bournemouth moaned, and like even probably the Brentford lot have a little bit of a moan. At Palace, they moaned. So look, at the end of the day, right, this is our fan base. Okay, we all had the Poch back lot, and me was like, what is this unfinished business with Poch? I still, to this day, I don't know what this unfinished business is. One day someone will explain it to me. But,
he had his time,
so we had to get Poch back. Yeah, we had the Poch back brigade, and we had the Conte out brigade. And look, it's who we are, mate. So, at the end of the day, this is going to be relentless. It is going to be a Spurs thing, no matter who's in management, right? With Ange, right, I was not keen on him coming to the club, but I was just like, look, they've made their decision. They want him to come. We've had Conte. I'm actually a Conte fan. This is the thing, apart from his back three. So I actually was quite happy when Ange came in and had the back four. I was like, yes, I can't stand back three. So I was actually happy when he come in and he had the back four. Problem with him is I don't think he got any PR, and I don't think he got any press training. And I think there's a way, especially when you come into the Premiership, I think there's a way that you've got to express yourself, because we know what the press is like, and we know how volatile our fan base is. Whether or not he knows that, I mean, he should have a kind of inkling with Celtic Rangers. Our fan base is very volatile. If you do a little bit of research, it would have all been out there. So I think there's a way you've got to conduct yourself in interviews, and a way that you come across. And I don't think it's really sat well with me how he's come across in interviews, and I've not liked things he said, and I just think it's all hot air. I just can't bear it because I'm proper old school, and I just need someone to come in to just say it how it is. I don't need someone pandering to the press. I don't need someone who needs the press to be their best friend. I don't need the jokes. I just need someone to come in and do a job and just get on with it. I'm just old school. That's just me. That's how I've run business. That's how I expect it. I don't need to be your friend, right? I'm here to win games. It didn't work for Ten Hag, right? Maybe he's seen that. It didn't work for Ten Hag because Ten Hag was very much matter of fact, and the press didn't like him. And we've seen it was relentless, Ten Hag. So we've seen that. Maybe Ange didn't want that for himself.
It was all about, okay. Sorry, carry on now.
So he's come in, right, but it's like we play one way and that's it. Yeah, he's just like, we play one way and that's it. Right, this Ange ball, okay. I'm not going to change the way I play. Pep didn't. I really don't give a flying hoot what Pep does. Pep has got 3 teams. We don't have 3 teams. We literally have just one, right? And now we have none. Okay, but Pep has got 3 teams at that time. So I really didn't care what Pep does. And I know it's a lot of press. Well, Pep didn't change the way he played. So playing out from the back, we can't play out from the back. Poor coaching team. He doesn't come with a coaching team entourage. Okay, fair enough. Then when you pick your coaching team, you try to pick the cream of the crop. We haven't. Even though we were losing, even though we'd lost a majority of our players, he still played one way. And it wasn't until it was too late he started to adapt how he played. Even Jermaine Defoe said, I respect him a lot. He has a style of play that he likes to play. I respect that. But he said there comes a time where you do have to adapt your style, your tactics. There does come a point where you have to do that. And that's coming from Jermaine Defoe. Okay. And that's where I think my biggest gripe was. He did change. He did. But it's come too late. It's come too late, in my opinion. He had what you do as a manager, right? You've lost your 2 centre backs, right? You've lost your keeper, right? You've lost that strength in your back line, right? And then, your other players are a bit hit and miss. James Maddison, a bit hit and miss. Biss, a bit hit and miss. What do you say to yourself as a manager? You step back and you say, oh, damn, I like this particular style of play. This is how I like to play. This is how I've always played. This is how I want to play. But you know what? I don't have the players to play my system at present. So what I need to do is I need to play to the strengths of the players that I have available temporarily. And then when I get the players back that can play the system and play the way I want to, then we are reverting back. But at present, we can't play out from the back. So do you know what? I'm not going to expect that of my players because it's a bit difficult at the moment. I don't have the back line that I actually, that can play in the style that I want. We've got a young, 18-year-old, that's playing out of position. We've got a Dragusin who, no comment, because I like Dragusin, but I'm not going to drag him. I'm not going to drag him on this, okay? But we have a Dragusin, okay? So we've got a left and a right back who are playing as wing backs, but want to play in the forwards. But that's how they've been told to play. So that's my biggest sort of gripe with him is his stubbornness, his obstinance. He just does not want to change because he's so stubborn. He doesn't feel like he should have to. And he didn't feel like, when we were losing, he said, I don't feel like I need to change. I don't have to. Why should I? I'm Ange. It worked up in Scotland. It's who we are. This is how I play. This is how we're going to play. That attitude didn't wash with me. What I took a lot of exception to, which I'm sure you know, is the dragging of Timo Werner. 48 hours prior to that dragging of Werner, I would never call out my players publicly. Big respect. If you've got something to say to your players, you say it behind closed doors. 48 hours later, slagging off Timo Werner. Timo Werner has not worked, and I know that, and he knows that, and Timo knows that. I don't know the ins and outs of why that loan deal continued. Did he say he wanted to continue with Timo Werner? Did Levy force him to continue with Timo Werner? Did Lange say it's best that he continues with Timo Werner? Did Munn put his sixpence worth in? Did Cullen say, I think Timo Werner should stay? He stayed though. So if you've got an issue with that player, don't try to deflect from your own failings as a manager and put it all on that player, because that did nothing for the morale of the team. It doesn't do anything. We've seen it with Mourinho. What does it do to a team when you're slagging off play? Oh, it's going to be me next. Who's who? It's going to be me next. It doesn't encourage the player to play any better. It puts them on edge, and they're walking on eggshells because they feel like it's going to be them next. Men's mental health means a lot to me, and I think that impacted Timo's mental health, because it's not only just him. It was then enabling the fan base to take out all their frustration on that one player, which they effectively did. Because, oh, well, if the manager's saying they're crap, then I'm going to get on social media, which they did, and I'm going to also tell him that is crap. And I did not agree with that, because that is toxic for the team. It's not just Timo. There's a lot of underperforming players in that team. So it's not just him. And it was toxic for them. So I think he went about that in a completely wrong way. Adaptability, he waited too late for that. In-game management, I don't like the way that he doesn't communicate with the players on the pitch. I think that's really important from a manager's point of view. I've watched every single manager in the Premiership. I've watched all 20 of them, and 19 communicate with their players when they're on the pitch, and only one doesn't. One stands in the box and does nothing. The only time he has done something, again, which I objected to, was twice. And you know when those 2 times was that he did something? Was when they were playing against Man City, because of course it's Pep, and he fanboys over Pep. And when he played against Slot, Liverpool, because Liverpool is his childhood team. So those 2 games, he was giving it the managing from the box. Every other game, he stands in that box and he does nothing. Now, what does that say to the team that are playing? When they look across at their manager, because you look across at your manager for a bit of guidance, they're getting nothing from him. So it must feel like they are on that pitch alone, and they have to figure it out. 45 minutes, they have to figure it out. They get 50 minutes in there with him. And then again, for another 45, you have to try and figure it out. You know, he's not vocal enough in that box. He needs to be more vocal in that box. You cannot stand there with his hands in his pocket. Is he a bad manager? No. I'm not going to say he's a bad manager. He's not a bad manager. Is he the right manager for Tottenham? Because of the pressures of managing at this level and the pressures of managing at this club and the pressures of the expectations from the fan base and the press. I just don't know if this is the right fit for him, because the pressure is too great. His one pressure in Scotland was beat Celtic. That was his pressure, and win the SPL.
Rangers, you mean?
And with the money that Celtic has, and he's won. Celtic beat Rangers. Celtic win the SPL. Celtic get into the Champions League. Celtic win the Scottish Cup. He achieved that. He achieved all of that. So he's not a bad manager, but he achieved that in a league that is not as competitive and cutthroat as the EPL. And I don't care what anyone says, because there's a little bit, you can't criticise the SPL. Yeah, we can, because, we can say that the EPL is far more competitive, far more cutthroat than the SPL. And he produced in Scotland. He produced. It's there in black and white. Can't be changed. It's there. Can he produce down here? I don't think Tottenham is the right club for him. I don't. The fan base we're just too demanding. We're too demanding. We're a demanding fan base because we've not won enough. And we've got this fancy schmancy new stadium and we're still not performing, and we're too demanding, and we're too demanding for him. He's too stubborn. We're too demanding. It's just a recipe for disaster. Do I think we should get rid of him? You know what? I couldn't give two hoots if he left at the end of the season. I couldn't give a damn. And if he stayed, he stays. At the end of the day, it's a poison chalice of a job. There's nobody out there, really. They keep talking about Terzic. He's not the right man for the job. Dortmund is my German team. He's not the right man for the job. Trust me. So you know what? They might as well just stick with who they've got. That's how I honestly feel. They may as well just stick with who they've got, because who they keep mooting out there, it's not the answer. It really isn't the answer. So you know what? You just maybe keeping on for the rebuild. It's going to be painful. We're going to lose games. We probably finish 10th in the league for a couple of seasons. But who will come to this club? What manager will come? You tell me what manager will come.
I've actually thought that far ahead of that at the time. Yeah.
There you go.
That far ahead, really.
Because in all honesty, we've seen the list. I've seen the list of available managers. They are not coming to Tottenham. Terzic is the only one. And the difference with Terzic is he does have Premiership experience. He worked under Bilic at West Ham. He worked under them. He has got that experience. But aside from that, you tell me who's going to come. So do we just not be in pain for the rebuild and hope for success later on down the line? And I just wanted to tell you the score. If you can believe it, Forest are 6 up. I can't even begin to talk about that. But anyway, that's for another day.
It is crazy. I mean, big up to Nuno Espirito Santo there. Really,
we can only dream of scorelines like that. Anyway.
Well, we used to get scorelines like that, quite regularly still. But it's just the defeats which are damaging. Over to you, Ryan. I mean,
yes,
I know that you kind of had the same high hopes for Postecoglou. Sorry, I was just watching the replay there with that goal. I don't know if they're ruling out or not, but yeah, same high hopes for Postecoglou. What's your kind of thoughts on how he has been so far, and has he got the help that you feel he should have had and needs in order to get Spurs where he feels he's able to get Spurs? Or do you think that this is probably a club that is a bit too big of a challenge for him?
My thoughts. I love Ange. That's it. No, I've got more. I really do like him. And every time I hear him speak, I do just love him even more. I love the way he does it. I love the answers he gives sometimes. Not always, but sometimes he knows just what to say to make me even more fan of these. The way he's gone so far with us, even right now, I still feel we play such good football. We play football of the type that I want to watch. I never have times where I don't want to watch us. I want to watch us. If I could watch us every day, I would. But then, okay, we really have no players. But there's never, the time between games, I almost feel like I'm missing watching us play because of how good we play. Because I didn't have that feeling under Mourinho, and I love Jose Mourinho. I love Jose Mourinho, but I didn't have that feeling under him. I didn't have
Yeah,
that
I
feeling
hear
under Conte.
you.
The game we played against Chelsea under Nuno was the one game I actually wanted to stop watching
Yeah.
because that day I felt like if they don't want to play, why should I want to watch them? And I've never had that feeling and I've never had it under Postecoglou. Even in the Liverpool game, I didn't want to stop watching because my thought was, I think we'll score 3. Whether they scored 6 or whatever, we scored the 3 that I wanted. As far as the help, I don't understand. I really don't understand why or how it's gotten to this point already. Well, we in Feb, and we signed a keeper that we probably didn't need because we have 4.
Mm.
We have 4. One is injured. Brandon Austin just had his first game, was against Liverpool and was good enough.
Yeah.
So did we really need Kinski to come in? We could have signed another defender in that time or looked at another defender, except now we are scrambling. So I don't understand why whomever is in charge of our transfers has literally left it to the last minute. And we may very well get nobody in.
Do you think the Kinski transfer was
Yeah.
down to Ange, or do you think it's more of a committee
I
thing?
don't know if it was down to Ange though.
I don't think it was, to be
It's
honest.
confusing that we went after a keeper when yes, okay, Austin wasn't a proven keeper, but how would we have known if we weren't going to use him? Yes, we then go spend all that money on a keeper. Yes, I'm listening.
I think from their point of view, in terms of not bringing in getting the keeper in, is that we're losing Whiteman, I suspect. We're losing Forster, which then just leaves us with Austin and Vicario. So I probably get bringing in a keeper, but I do, yes, you're right about the urgency to get in defence, centre backs. But I think they're in their mind with the youth rebuild, because we always have to go back to that. There's Dorrington, I believe, Phillips and Vukovic, who is coming in the summer. And Phillips may very well come back in the summer. They may put him on loan again, or they may bring him back. And Dorrington, he may continue on loan. But I think in their mind, well, we've got the players. They may not be here now when we need them the most, but they are coming because in their mind it's this youth rebuild. So they're planning for the future, whereas us as a fan base, you're correct, we need it now. So that's why we're like, why are they coming in with Kinski? Why do we need Kinski? Actually, we do need Kinski, to be honest with you. We actually do need him because Vic is 28 years old. I think he's going to be 29 this year. And then we've just got Austin. We did need Kinski. He's 21. He's part of the youth rebuild.
Okay, I understand that. The other point that I wanted to make was also with Feb. We are still in 4 competitions. our last couple of managers, by Feb, how many competitions were we left in?
Hmm.
So, Edge is doing something, right? I know the league form is not good, but for us to be, and I would say still going strong in those other competitions, even with a depleted squad, and we're still, once everything gets going, we look good out there. It's tough to, I guess, really find a complaint to make about him. For me, it's tough to make complaints about him. Yes, I understand that a lot of people don't like that he doesn't really do much when he's standing at the sideline. And yes, I feel sometimes his changes are very late. But I almost wonder if it's a case of that he doesn't say much because his plan is, you know how we want you to play. This is the players. He knows that the players know how he wants them to play. He knows that the players know what he's expecting and what should be happening. So he's not trying to, and this is the tough part also, he's not trying to overcoach them with that or cause any doubt within. We stick to the plan. This is the plan. And we're going to execute the plan over the 90. And if I need to make changes, I need to make changes like on Thursday when Jackson came off. We shuffle players around. We bring on Scarlett. Sonny comes off. Richarlison goes out left. And those are forced changes, but they seem to work. So I really do. I think it's a case of we've spent all week going over the plan. This is how we are going to play. Come game day, we execute. We don't divert from the plan. Which is why I don't think that I think that's how he coaches, which is why he says, we play how we play. They know how we are going to play. So this is what we're doing. And instead of standing there and do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that, you know what you are supposed to do. So do it. Well, that's at least how I hope it's going. I don't officially know, but I get that because otherwise I don't see how a manager can simply not or just do nothing throughout the whole game. Because I don't know what he says at halftime. Don't know what he says prior, but we all know that changes only get made certain points. Sometimes the 70th, sometimes the 80th minute. So I think where people say he's
Well, I mean,
more,
there was a vast
with the
improvement on that, though. There's a vast improvement because he did make changes earlier because he was making. See, this is what I'm saying. He was making changes in the 80th minute. I mean, league, and that was also what was annoying the fan base. On Thursday, he made changes earlier.
Yes.
So, and you saw how the game changed. Maybe not for the better, but we still got 3 goals.
Yes.
I was going to say, I think no, sorry, I was just going to say, I think the changes were more to do with the fact that the players are coming back from injury, and he wanted to get those off and bring on other players.
Yeah. I mean, I know with Van der Ven, I mean, that Van der Ven, couldn't do 90, no way. I mean, there were people around us complaining about that, but it's just like the guy cannot do 90. He's just come back from a 3-month, like nearly 3-month injury. No way. He has to be gradually, you know, he has to gradually sort of play on. But he has made subs earlier than 80 minutes, because it was in 80th minute in every league game, and he has started to make them that bit earlier, which is a change,
I
which
think
the fan base needs to see.
Yes, he needs to at least give, when we are chasing the game, give those subs at least 20 minutes, because there is enough time.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the last thing I want to say has escaped my mind now. When it comes back to me, I'll mention it again. But other than that, I think as every time there's talk about we should sack him, and he would, and we can't finish the season with Ryan Mason. As much as I love Ryan Mason, we can't finish the season under him.
I know, no.
We
please,
also
no.
We also cannot
No.
go into any cup games or finals with Ryan Mason. He has a worse record than anyone else that's managed the club. We are in a position where we have got to stick with this man, because there are enough points to gain in the Premier League for us to. I don't think we'll be relegated. Something would have to be drastically wrong for us to even get there. But
they're not getting relegated.
We are conceding less with Van der Ven playing. I think Van der Ven being partnered with Gray, which is, it has to be an anomaly that a defensive midfielder is probably one of the best centre backs in the Premier League at 18. On top of it.
Steady on. I mean, he's good, but
no, well,
steady on there, Ryan.
So far, so good. So far, so good. But
that's been kind of weird that when we that's been kind of weird that we take Gray out of centre back for those 2 games, and we look poor in centre back when we had Dragoshin and Davies there. So it was kind of odd, really, how that happened.
Davies is a left back for sure. He's definitely not a centre back. Fortunately, let's say fortunately, Regian is available for this weekend also. So there's at least cover for that position. Spence, I think, is Spence fit?
No, I don't know.
I'm not sure if Spence is fit. If
I
Spence is
don't think
fit,
I
I
think
think
he could be out for a bit. Well, yeah.
I really think we should be starting Spence over Pardo, but I don't know if Andrew's keen on that. Because
Spence over Porro?
Yes. I feel that. I think Pardo is fantastic going forward. I think defensively, I think actually all around Spence might be better, because Spence is decent going forward and in defense. So, I mean, didn't Spence have to defend against Salah in the Liverpool game?
Talk to them, yeah.
So, and Pardo's always out of position, which, I don't know, is that... I struggle to find that's part of the tactic if the left back isn't out of position all the time, yet he is. I don't know if it's him or
He takes win back. He
I see what
takes
you
win
mean.
back to another level. He does, Porro, because he's always forwards, because that's his.
Yes.
He likes to play in a more attacking position rather than a defensive. Whether or not that's an Ange tactic or that's just him as a player. To be fair, I've not really studied him when he's played for Spain. I've not really watched his game there, but we know at Tottenham he has to play in a forward attacking position, and that has left us vulnerable.
Yes. Oh, and was it Liverpool that I think they tried to expose it? They did expose it in the league game. So
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Until
exactly.
the league game was kind of hard to gauge really, because I think when Spence was marking Salah, he had the better of him. When Spence said, I think did they switch or did Salah switch? Can't remember which one it was, but that's when Salah got his 2 goals, and then Spence went over and stopped Salah again, and so that's kind of like the how we kind of marked Salah out of the cup game. I think.
Switch?
That's what I can't remember. It was Salah that switched or whether it was Spence that switched. But
I think it was Spence that
I'm
switched.
thinking did Salah? Yeah, I'm trying to think back. Bloody hell, I'm trying to think back.
Because there was a point where I was at the game and thinking,
switch. I believe it's Spence.
It must have been because
I think it was Spence.
Because I remember when Spence was up against Salah, Salah had got no change out of him in that league game, and then something happened. It was either one of those two switched, and that's when Salah got his 2 goals. But then when you saw it in the cup game, Spence was all over Salah, and Salah had not one inch of that pitch. And I guess we kind of learned from the league game to make sure that Spence was following Salah like some kind of like a flea on a dog. That's what kind of happened, I think. That's how I believe it happened anyway.
Yeah. And you see, that's what I love. That's what I love. I love man marking. Call me old-fashioned, right? Call me old-fashioned. I don't care. I love that. Man marking a player out the game. Give it to me, old 1970s, 80s style. I'm all for it. I love it.